Welcome to the After the Show movie podcast, brought to you by your hosts Ace Scully and Sid Talk. We're addicted to movies. Are you? Hello, Sid Talk. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello.
I was hoping I would sound much better this week, but I feel like I sound worse.
Sound a little nasally, but hey, germs is germs. You can't help it. Gems is gems.
Yeah. I'm on the tail end anyway. Thanks for anybody who asked.
That's not
but
before
nobody
the
asked.
after the show. Nobody asked.
No, nobody cares.
That's not the before the after the show discussion. What was it, you say? It was nothing really.
Well, it was. I was looking up Nicolas Cage stuff.
True.
And I found out that his second name, Cage, is not his real name. It's his SAG-AFTRA name.
Mm.
And he chose it because the morning he had to choose a name, he had a Luke Cage comic in his hand. Because he's a great big comic book fan. So he used Cage instead of Coppola. So that's my trivia for you for today.
It served him well.
Yeah. All right, Sidta, let's get on with this podcast. It is Saturday, June the 7th. This is After the Show 894. We're your weekly movie review podcast, and this week we're looking at the new movie, The Surfer. It's a 2025 release, out now on streaming, rated R. Its runtime is 1 hour and 40 minutes, and it's from our friends at Lionsgate, who sent us a copy for review. Sid Talk, can you give us the synopsis of the movie, The Surfer?
That's a tough one, I think. It's a guy having a problem, coping with some trauma, wanting to take his son surfing, and there's these dickheads, and it's in Australia. Is that it?
Yeah, I'll give you the one off the box.
That's not on the box?
It probably is. A man returns to the beach of his childhood to surf with his son. When he is humiliated by a group of locals, the man is drawn into a conflict that keeps rising and pushes him to his breaking point.
Fair enough.
Yes. Now, The Surfer, Sidta, what did you think?
I said when it was over, I have to think about it. I'm still thinking about it. I mean,
if you're thinking about it, that's good, right?
Yes, I liked it, I guess. I appreciate it. I can't say it's fun. I was grossed out a lot. It's got a lot of gross shit.
You weren't really grossed out for the normal reasons either.
No, I said I can handle blood, guts, and gore from horror movies, all kinds of stuff. But drinking out of a puddle of water on a parking lot because you're dying of thirst. I know you're dying of thirst. I don't care. I'd just be like, I'm just gonna die because that's grossing me out.
Yeah.
What else did you grow? Eating garbage out of the can and drinking the non-potable water. Ugh. So these things occupied a lot of me.
It's like a weird survival story, but he's in a car park of a resort place, like a surfing beach.
And I feel like everybody did a good job. So I was convinced everybody was awful, except for the son. He has a son.
Like everybody.
Every single person is horrible, except for the photographer lady, I guess. We have to remember her.
Yeah.
And it's really prickly and aggressive. Like constantly, the people that he encounters, these dudes on the beach. Yeah, I just felt, I guess that's the idea, is to feel pressured and awful the whole time.
Yeah.
And then there's this sort of I'm not going to say intellectual brain, because I don't know if it counts as that, but the ideas of like the symbolism and or metaphors of how, and even starts by saying, you either ride the wave or it wipes you out. That's his metaphor for life, right? So you got to remember, okay, we're talking about somebody who's trying to teach us a lesson here, the writer, director, whoever. And so the idea of this dreamy weirdness where he's in the car park, he gets hot, he gets stranded a bit, he's on a mission, he gets irritated, these guys are terrible. And then the camera work and other things remind you a little bit of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
It makes you uncomfortable.
Adaptation, which is another Nicolas Cage movie where you're not sure if what you're seeing is real. So we've got the homeless guy, Nicolas Cage, the story of Nicolas Cage's father dying on the beach. And then we mix it up. He sees himself as the homeless man. He sees himself as the father dead on the beach. And then you're supposed to be like, is this all in his imagination? Are we having a heat stroke? Is the old guy real? Is the old guy really him and he's having a flashback? Like, I get it. I like stimulation. But at the end of the day and the story, I'm still a little bit like, huh?
All those things you just said are all things that crossed my mind during the movie.
Good.
Yeah, everything.
We're in sync.
I was like, is this going to be none of this is really happening?
Right.
Everybody's actually good around him. They're
is
all
he
nice.
going to be in a mental institution when we meet him because he's had this? Is he
twisting everything in his mind to be the opposite of what it really is? That's what I was thinking it was. But
yeah.
Because it's got this dream-like, hazy kind of who knows what's going on kind of.
And I don't mind that. I enjoy it when it's telling me the story, right? It's visual art. And so if I'm to be confused because my character is confused, okay. And now am I just to be confused because some intellectual academic writer wants to make me feel confused? Because that's just ick.
Now, I've not seen the trailer for this movie, but I believe you could cut the trailer together to make it look like it's just one of those revenge movies.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it has all that trope of a revenge movie. Like the Jason Statham one we saw the other week. It has here's a man, he's out of place, he's been threatened, will he fight back or not?
Yeah.
And I thought that was as simple as it was going to be. He was going to get so mad at some point that he will go and fuck everybody up. True Cage style.
But layering on top of that, these images of the old man being him.
Right.
Is that the past? Is that the future?
Yeah.
Is the dad really him because he has a son in the beginning?
There's a lot of unknowns in there.
Yeah, it could have even been a story where he's the dad in the split second where he ends his own life. That's the dad's story. He's having this complete weird flashback and thoughts and they're reviving him. And on the beach, he's going to come. It could be anything. It could be anything.
The thing that stuck out to me a lot, and I kept thinking about it, was when the cop came and the cop thought the old man's car, there's, the old bum kind of guy, that was Nicolas Cage's car. And I was like, oh, hold on. Nicolas Cage doesn't have a Lexus. He's
exactly.
In the shitty car's his, and the old man doesn't exist. And because the cop said, I've told you about this car before, you've got to get that tire fixed. And I was like, ooh, hold on. Are we going to do a real mind twister? Because it seemed like we were going to.
That's what I was saying. All those things that I've said are the options.
Well, that moment in particular, I was like, oh, this is like clarification. The cop has said, like, I've asked you about that car before. When he hasn't, if the story was playing out like it was supposed to. So I thought that was the confirmation. All right, we're doing that. But we're not doing that. We're doing, I don't know, it gets very weird towards the end.
And then you have to think, okay, so all of it's real. His dad, when he was a kid, committed suicide. He moved away from Australia. He moved to America. He's coming back to Australia. He wants to buy this house for his son. But clearly there's a breakup. He's not married anymore. His wife wants to get a divorce. Wants to finalize the divorce. The son thinks he's a jerk. Is he having a delusional, like, maybe schizophrenic? And I mean that in the most highest respect of if this is his issue, that he's imagining all these people laughing at him.
That's what I
and
thought.
Being mean to him. And, it's layers of possibilities.
And then you can say at the end, spoilers, you can't really say for sure what really happens.
Right. But you read the thing about like he wanted to be sure.
After reading a thing.
Yeah. That the old man is real and that he still wanted to make a dreamy thing. So then you have to, after knowing that.
Yeah, we read a thing with the director.
Yeah, then I'm like, okay, so the old man is really real. It's not him. And it's just all of this is about trauma that Nicolas Cage's character has endured because of the death of his father when he was a kid. Okay, so here's the actual story. He comes to this beach. He wants to take his son surfing. We didn't mention this yet. There's a group of assholes on the beach saying locals only. And then it turns out they've got this really weird toxic masculinity. Yes, I'm super woke, so deal with it. Super toxic masculinity group going on. And that turns out to be real, right?
Yeah.
And they're really, really, really awful and then start tormenting and torturing him. Like that's the whole deal. So you have that going on. The old man, the homeless guy, this guy. Oh, it's just, even when I say it, I'm sure it sounds super confusing.
It does, but it's well filmed.
Oh, very well filmed.
Yeah. It's artsy, let's say. There's
Absolutely.
a lot of looking through, like right from the offset, you're like, okay, this isn't a standard thing because there's some weirdness going on. You know what it reminded me of? The movie Falling Down.
Okay, yep.
You know, when he's in his car at the beginning and you're like, oh, this is just a regular guy in his car, but then it keeps showing you like something really filthy over there or something hot over there.
But that one doesn't have any hint that any of it's a fantasy or that any of it is a dream. But this is just question after question.
Yeah, but it gives you that, like, this place is kind of disgusting around the edges and things aren't quite... I mean, it's supposed to be this amazing beach with people surfing on it.
Right.
But everything about it is a bit shit, right?
Well, the people.
Yeah, the people, and just, it's just a terrible... You don't want to be there. In fact, at the beginning, I was like, okay, no matter what's going on here, I'm just leaving.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. First, they tell him to fuck off, and then they tell him to, oh, it's only for locals.
You're not allowed to surf here. What the fuck is that?
And he's like, well, I used to live here. I was a kid here. I used to surf it. Doesn't matter. Fuck off. Get out of here, you know, and aggressive.
And you're like, you would have been like, okay, goodbye.
I'm out. I don't need to surf it that badly. But Nicolas Cage's character does need to surf there that badly.
True.
It's his whole life mission to retire from work, buy a house where he used to surf, and surf. So that was where I thought, well...
And somehow salvage maybe his marriage that he can't salvage, and his relationship with his son that he can't salvage.
I think he just wanted it to be idyllic.
Yeah.
When it isn't going to be. So that's where I thought this is just going to be a revenge thing. He's going to go apeshit. He's probably going to stuff a surfboard through somebody's head. But that's not what it is. So I was kind of glad that it wasn't that, because that's just the obvious thing. But then I was also a little bit unsatisfied with what it became.
Gotcha.
And what it became was like some hallucinatory scenes, all the spinning round and all that shit. I didn't particularly like all that stuff. Not because of, you know, what it looks like. It was just, oh, it could be this or that, and now we're doing that. And then he's joining this club, like, all of a sudden.
I know.
Yeah.
So the idea of this group of dickheads on the beach have got like a guru.
Yeah.
Cult leader.
Weirdo.
And his thing is you have to suffer to surf, which means in life, that's another metaphor. You must suffer to earn what you get.
It's a bit Point Break.
Point Break, and what's the Skulls, you know, the group of men.
Also the Skulls.
Who run everything, and they're all the doctors and the lawyers and the real estate people, and they're all the bankers. And so if you're in with us, we can beat you down, but we got your back, brother. You know what I mean? All that bullshit. And yeah, I'm going to be very lean heavily into this because it is absolute poison. And anybody who disagrees, you don't need to listen to us anymore. If you think that the attitude of this guy on this beach is a good attitude for men, goodbye.
And he goes from wanting to, you know, fight with them all to being part of them pretty quickly. He does
prove to be semi-brave. Doesn't stand up for the old man directly, but he does fight them when he has to.
He goes down there one night just to infiltrate them, basically. And I was like, yeah, that's fucking hardcore.
That is hardcore.
I mean, there's like, what, 15 of them? Maybe more? And it's just you on your own with like, early on in the movie, he stands on some glass in his bare feet.
Oh, God.
So he's also hobbling around and he's sunburned and, you know, it's pretty messed up.
He is definitely coming apart. Falling down, you're right. Falling down is a good example, comparison in terms of like,
how much can a man take?
Yeah.
It's a tale as old as time. But this one happens to go in a weird direction that Falling Down does not. Falling Down kind of takes the regular approach. This one takes the realistic approach because he's not a one-man army. He's not a hard case, is he really?
True.
And these guys are like weird lunatics and children, some of them.
Yeah.
Teenagers. Yeah. And they're all aggressive as shit. There's no telling them.
I feel like I'm not explaining it well enough to make sense, but then I'm like, but that's how it feels.
Yeah. It makes you feel anxiety, I would say.
Anxiety.
I'd say the first 45 minutes is pure anxiety until he starts drifting into their world a bit. And then I was like, I'm not so sure about where this is going.
Then I was disgusted.
Yeah.
I was disgusted with him. Like,
and then the ending kind of crops up on you really quick in this. It felt like that.
Well, normally I wouldn't say this, but I felt like we kind of clung to that second, third section, the end of the second third of the movie. Just like, I get it. We want to make it feel like he is absolutely down and out. And that's this guy's objective, is to get this, Nicolas Cage's character as far down in the dirt as he can. And then what does he do? Like every other asshole cult leader or politician leader who wants to like cause a problem.
Yes.
And then be the savior to come along and fix it. And then everybody goes, oh, you're so great. Uh-huh. That's what this guy's doing to him.
He's actually pretty well done that.
Yeah.
The way the little click.
It just went on we got it.
Yeah.
He's fallen down. You know what I mean? We get it.
Exactly.
We got it.
All right, let's get on to the cast here. Nicolas Cage plays the surfer. What do you think?
He's really good. Like, there are moments when you look in his eyes and at him, and he's really in it, right? He's into anything he's doing.
Yeah.
Now, we might have watched a movie at some point where we're like, he's kind of phoning it in. I don't remember what it was, but this isn't one of those. This is like, he's
into this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also like how he's not glamorous about himself.
Oh, no.
There are shots in this where he just looks terrible, right?
It is unflattering.
Yeah. And he doesn't care because you can tell he's just going for this guy who's at the end of his tether. He's completely at the end. He's sunburned. He's disgusting looking. He's got white dribble coming out of his mouth sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. Finn Little plays the kid. That's just his son. He's not really in it that much, to be fair, is he?
No.
And the leader of the gang, played by Julian McMahon, he's Scally. And the leader of the gang was excellent. I loved him.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't love him because he's an awful fucker. But he had that, there was something about him that made him really like, you wanted to hate him.
You wanted to hate him, but also you could see why
they
designed
charisma.
Him. Yes.
Yeah. It was almost perfect for what that was. Because he was kind of handsome looking, but also rough. Like you think, oh, maybe this guy's going to kill you any second.
Yeah.
Get a knife out or something. I thought this guy seems familiar. And he was in the Silver Surfer movies, more surfing movies, as Dr. Von Doom. You probably don't remember.
Huh.
I mean, we did see those movies, but it was a long time ago. So directed by Lorcan Finnegan, he directed Vivarium, which I really liked. Do you remember it?
Sounds familiar.
It was the one with the Social Network guy.
That doesn't help.
You know who he is, though, right? Jesse Eisenberg.
Okay.
And it was like a housing place where he lived with a woman, but it was a little bit like Severance. Kind of, there was something going on, an experiment.
Lived with a woman.
Yeah, and they have a baby.
I'm not recalling this
and
at
they go
all.
into these white rooms sometimes, and it's like a normal, somebody living a normal life, but there's actually something weird going on.
I mean, what's the story? Vivarium.
Yeah. We watched it probably 5 years ago.
Doesn't help. I need to know what the story was. I'm imagining now an apartment.
No, it's like a London like council house type place.
Okay.
It was set in England.
Yeah.
I can't remember who the woman was. I'm trying to find it on IMDb so you can,
drag up my memories of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, Vivarium sounds familiar. I thought that was the one with the big walking city. What was that one called?
Here's Vivarium poster if you want to look over it.
Oh, okay.
The tagline is, a young couple looking for the perfect home find themselves trapped in a mysterious labyrinth-like neighborhood of identical houses.
Yeah, I'm not sure the parallel here. What are we saying the parallel is?
I'm not. I'm saying that this guy directed also that movie.
Oh.
No parallel.
Okay, kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
A movie with like a heavy kind of twist almost. There isn't really a twist to The Surfer, but there kind of is as well, right? It's not like, ooh, look at this, it's a twist.
But see, that's the thing.
Well, there's a twist on the genre. Like it kind of it doesn't do the tropes that you would expect.
But that's the genre you thought it was. That's not what I thought it was.
Right.
So
even the poster makes me think it's that genre. It's a surfer and it's his car with locals only written on the side of it, which actually doesn't happen in the movie. Also, that car is not the car from the movie.
Yeah, that's the homeless guy's car.
Oh, the homeless guy's car.
The sign says locals only down by the beach.
Right.
So they're just kind of mishmash.
Well,
you know what they did? They made an AI image.
Yeah, that poster makes me think it is that as well, you know?
Mm.
All right, so what did you think of the directing?
I think it looks really good. I get it. He got good. The jerks were really, really super jerky. And I worry for those young men and hope upon hope that none of them have even a grain of the characters' attitudes.
They were doing well playing those characters.
They were, and he got that out of them, and I could just imagine. And also, again, the element of mustache twirling, like they got so over the top with their laughing and they're giving this guy a hard time. But then that's where the layer of, is this in his imagination? Is he dreaming that they're all laughing at him? And they're just nice young men trying to actually help him. But then he does that thing where the camera goes like, oh, whoa, whoa, and then makes people look a little distorted. Like I said, what's the one with Las Vegas, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah, actually, very much like that.
So it's got sort of a combination of drama, weirdness, fear, maybe trying to hint at a horror vibe at times, kind of like
I also thought it could have gone a horror direction.
Blink Twice. Is this that kind of like weird is this beach some kind of trap for or is it like The Game with Chris what's his name? Yep. Where
Michael Douglas.
He's trapped in a thing and he's kind of willing but not willing to go through all this or whatever. So it's maybe this director just loves movies and he's mishmashing them all together.
All right. IMDb reviews. What are those?
Those are reviews you find on the IMDb, and you love the 1 stars because it's hilarious to you that people will make the effort to say things like, worst movie ever made.
There are only 9 1-star reviews for this one.
Okay.
First one says absolute trash.
Okay.
I know Nick Cage has a large showbiz family, but I feel like they're the ones who wrote the positive reviews for this film. I feel sorry for him.
Probably not accurate, I'm guessing.
And then, one thing we did notice in this movie is for a movie called The Surfer, there's a distinct lack of surfing.
Yeah, because it's about him, right?
Yeah. There's surfboards, and there's some long distance shots of some surfing maybe going on. Maybe. That's it.
Well, if you noticed, every time we saw a big sweeping shot of the ocean and the surf happening, loads of people are getting wiped out.
Right.
And that was his initial speech, immediately when we start the movie, was that the big waves, you either ride it or you wipe out, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
And that's what every single shot of surfing was, if you think of back, pay attention. And also, it is called The Surfer, not like surfing.
Yes.
And the way we are presented is that his memory, he's stuck back in his childhood when he would stand on that kind of cliff, look down at the surf and the beach and have that feeling of euphoria. And I'm so excited to go surfing and it's wonderful and glorious. That's what he keeps clinging to. So we get that surfing attitude. We just don't see literally zero. He doesn't surf at all, remember?
Second guy says, as a lifelong surfer, I noticed and approve of 2 things in the movie. There were actual surfable waves throughout. Fairly consistent ocean in the background, not choppy to grassy offshore winds. This guy's very technical.
Hey.
But then everything else is a bizarre, incoherent, unpleasant, verging on plain awful plot. Cage's acting chops run the gamut from A to B for 2 hours. A is a crooked open-mouth snarl, and B is a crooked open-mouth snarl.
Ah, clever.
Yes. The audience were forced to watch this as I watched a test screening, and I was looking at the clock the entire time. It was tedious. It was supposed to be tedious.
Absolutely.
That's part of the movie. And I was thinking while I was watching it, some of this seems tedious, but I understand why. Because he's a guy who's basically just trapped in this car park with like predators all around him, including wildlife, everything. Right? Everything's trying to kill you was one.
Is that the overriding lesson of the entire movie is the two things. A, the predatory behavior of this guru cult fuckhead. Right. And then the old man, the homeless guy, gives a little brief speech at the end and says, don't you know you're all trapped? Like you're in a cage, like literally, with wanting the money and the stuff and the power. And is that really the overriding lesson we're all supposed to have gotten just from those little nuggets?
Maybe. I mean, it seemed that
It's
way.
a fair message.
Yeah. And the third guy says, what a rubbish movie. Totally chaotic and full of awful head-spinning camera work. A story that you can't understand and no one you can relate to except Nicolas Cage. You can relate to Nicolas Cage? I mean, he's pretty out there.
I disagree with that.
Thank God Mission Impossible is on next week. That's what it says. All right, so those are the people who didn't like the movie. So we didn't see any extras because we watched the streaming version, but let's give this movie, The Surfer, a score. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 for, I love Nick Cage.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did really good here. I like this movie. So I like some of it. I don't like some of it.
Gotcha.
You know? I think when I was thinking earlier, would it have been a better movie if it went the way that I like, where it's just a big revenge movie? I don't even think that would be better. I think it's fine as it is.
Or like Nobody, you know,
Right.
where it turns out this guy's got special skills and he's going to beat the shit out of
That's what I
all
was
these
thinking
guys.
it was going. And then I'm like, is that better? Or is that just trite? You've seen that a billion times. So I kind of admire what this did. It went for a different angle. So I'll give it 6 out of 10.
I agree. And I'm going to go 6.8 though, because I feel like even though it has flaws, everything does except for me. No comment?
No comment.
Good. It
is thundering very heavily at the moment.
It is thundering a little bit.
So hopefully no thunder comes through. But if it does...
Here's the difference between a person raised in the Midwest, which is the middle of the big chunk of America, you know, the southern portion of North America, and a person raised on an island, which was England, is that any storm for me is nothing, like literally nothing. You could tell me a tornado is 3 miles away and I'd go out on the porch and try to see it. Like that's, and it goes like, and you're like, oh, it's storming. Oh my God, it's storming. And I'm like, okay, you're good. We're good. We're all, unless the power goes off, which annoys the crap out of me, but.
Let's hope the power doesn't go off because you won't be able to hear us anymore.
Yeah, right now would be bad time.
Yeah. All right. So thank you to Lionsgate for the movie. Next week, we're looking at the big movie, Sinners. Have you heard of this one?
No.
It's from Ryan Coogler, who did Black Panther. So it's called Sinners. We'll see that next week. Movie recommendations. A movie that this movie reminded me of a lot was Eden Lake.
Oh, really?
Remember Eden Lake?
Of course I do, but no, it doesn't remind me of that.
So remember the first 15 minutes where they go to the little place to have a picnic, Fassbender, and then those horrible youths who start calling him a see you next Tuesday and being really outrageously obnoxious, kind of taunt them a bit, and then it all kind of goes from there. So Eden Lake, I think it's a really good film, and it's more of a horror film, right?
It is definitely. Oh, yes. And it's very traumatic and anxiety ridden.
And the second one is a Nick Cage film that I really love, and it's not a guilty pleasure. I actually really like it. It's Con Air.
Of course you love it.
It was the first Blu-ray I ever bought, first DVD I ever bought.
And when we met on the old internet in 1998, and then after over a year when we decided you're coming here to stay, you sent me in the mail your precious box of DVDs.
I did.
Remember, this is the end of 1999 now, almost 2000. So your collection was so precious. And in there was
Con Air.
And
I've still got it, actually.
Was the other main one was like The Rock.
Yeah.
It was a big box.
Yeah. Well, I remember having a DVD player and only having Con Air, so it obviously got played quite a bit, for a while.
Right.
So yeah, Con Air and Eden Lake.
And my recommendations are going back through all the horror movies since the beginning of time. Oh no, just the beginning of cinema. And we're up to 1990 now. So anybody who was aware of movies from the 1990s, what I've found when I'm looking through my list, and these are just movies I've seen, nothing to do with quality. So if you want to be like me, everybody, obviously I'm never wrong. And also I've seen all these movies, so you can be just like me. Is there's lots of, this is the era of sequels. So not all, but some. We have Arachnophobia. We all love the...
it's a good one.
Flatliners. Then we have Predator 2. Because I loved Predator. That's my... If you don't have a guilty pleasure in Con Air, I don't have a guilty pleasure in Predator.
Okay, Predator, right? This week, there is a new animated movie, canon Predator.
Okay.
Would you be interested in seeing that?
Absolutely, 100%.
It's done in the animation style of Into the Spider-Verse.
I mean, I liked Alien versus Predator. I liked Predators. I like it all. So yes, bring it on. I don't care.
All right, I'll get that.
So Predator 2, I'm gonna say, just because I'm not a huge Danny Glover fan anyway. And isn't that the one where he's kind of the
in the city with the Predator?
Yeah. And it just, Night of the Living Dead.
Excellent, classic.
No, that's not. This is not that one.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
No, because that's not 1990.
That's called Night of the Living. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
They made a remake of it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not very good. I didn't like it.
It's fine because I like zombies as well. Give me the Predator and the Alien and the zombies. Oh, there's a good one.
Yeah.
Predator versus Alien versus zombies. Who's going to team up with who? We don't want Rick and Michonne because they have very bad plans, so leave them out of it. Then we have The Exorcist 3.
George C. Scott.
Which you enjoy. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think I'd love it if I watched it again.
As I always say to you when it's on, I love it so much more than Exorcist 2.
Right.
Electric Boogaloo. It does apply to every movie that has a 2. And it's always funny when you say it. Especially when it's one that shouldn't really have that title at the end.
Right.
All right. Hey, Scully stuff this week. I've been playing Resident Evil Village. It's Resident Evil 8. It came out like 2.5 years ago. I just haven't got around to playing it. And this week, I won it in a contest.
Nice.
I don't think that was really a contest. I think it was more like, we've got a load of shit to give away. Get in this queue and you'll get one.
Yep. How do we advertise to a bunch of people at the same time?
But I did get a free game, so
absolutely.
That was cool. Resident Evil Village, it's the latest Resident Evil game, and you are running around an old, like Dracula's castle kind of thing. It's really cool. There's lots of secret passages and weird stuff going on.
Let's tell everybody, there's actual vampires.
And werewolves.
In Resident fucking Evil.
Yeah, and there's no explanation to that yet. I'm expecting one, because they like to explain things in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be anything. I'll find out, but I'm really having fun with it. And it is absolutely, if you want your nerves to be on edge, it's that kind of game. I don't think I could play it with headphones on. I think it would freak me out. There's a lot of things crawling behind you or jumping out from behind you when you least expect it. That kind of thing.
Gotcha.
All right, dinner. What is for dinner?
I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to say a form of potato and beans and maybe hot dogs. Well, we're vegetarian, so that'd be plant-based hot dogs. We've discovered in the last few days this wonderful technique, and it's not new because we've all had it our whole lives, but throw a bunch of sliced up potatoes in a little pan, roast them up, put some cheese on top, bing, bang, bosh, as you like to say in your country.
Yes. Bish,
delicious.
bash, bosh.
Bish, bash, bosh. Because I don't want to go anywhere. And we have these items, and that's probably what we'll have.
All right. What's your advice? And let's get out of here.
Well, my advice is not advice, of course. Something that I think is... Okay. Let me just read what I've written, and then I'll go from there. So keep in mind that self-doubt, like a little bit of self-doubt and considering things before you make a decision, or how people are coming at you, or the people you meet, or, what you're going to do next in life, considering all of that, the pros and the cons, and, can you do this? Can you do that? That's fine. That's just part of being human, a creature in this universe. Every creature that I, as the, thinking brain, makes decisions all the time based on potential hazards or benefits, right? That's normal. Crippling self-doubt, crippling self-loathing, and a feeling of inherent lack of self-worth, and like a crushing, indecisive mind because you fear rejection or punishment or failure or other bad things happening. That is not part of being a creature. That's been taught to you and learned by you. And my niece pointed out to me that she's listening to all of our old podcasts, and she'll listen to this one eventually, I'm sure, and mentioned that I talked about my mom a lot in a lot of the podcasts over the years. Well, she just passed away at the end of last year, and so I haven't talked about her so much, but this kind of stuff reminds me of her because I personally, I have 3 siblings, right? So I don't know their perspective on this, but I can, and people keep saying, I'm doing this little project where people who knew my mother will say to me, oh, your mother would be so proud. It's so good. She would be so proud of you for doing this. And I know that's nice, and I always thank them politely, but in my mind, I'm like, of course she would be. Of course my mother would be proud of me.
I mean, whose wouldn't?
Well, there,
no.
No. There are lots of, that's what I'm saying. That my mom let my natural instinct to learn that when I've got a good skill, and she encouraged me to be good at a thing and just do it, right? You can do it. And then the natural feeling of, oh, I did a good job. And then she reinforced that. She didn't overdo it. Like, if I did something absolutely horrible or did a drawing that was crappy, I mean, she would probably end up praising me for it, but also say, well, is that how it's supposed to look? If it is, that's great. I love it. But she let my natural instinct of feeling accomplished and trusting my own instincts when I make decisions. She didn't like all my decisions, like husband number 1, but her philosophy and the way that I took her raising of me specifically was, you do what you got to do. And then if shit falls apart, you call me. I will be there. I may not love everything you say and do and every choice you make, but you have to trust yourself. And I trust that you know what you're doing. That is reinforcing me not feeling loathing of myself, right? My dad had a lot of self-loathing. So that kind of trickled down for a lot of my 20s, maybe into my 30s, this like, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, I'm an idiot, nobody likes me, I'm ugly, I'm disgusting, I'm fat, nobody's ever going to want me. Yeah, that was all part of it, but it wasn't natural. That didn't just happen, right? I learned that from watching and kind of soaking up some of that vibe and then seeing it in a lot of people around me as well. And so if you do a thing and you feel proud of it and you think, I did a really good job, and you have this vibe from people around you that they're going to insult it and knock you down for it and make you feel bad about doing well, fuck them. Don't let them make you the person who doubts yourself, right? Because what's the point of being alive? What's the point of like you going on instead of just being a puppet for all these people? Just trust yourself. Don't doubt yourself, but you can question. I question everything. You can ask A. Scully. I will question absolutely everything.
Well, yeah.
That's also in my nature, but I just really, really feel sad when people have that crippling self-doubt, and I don't have it, and I wasn't told that I have to. It's not implied in my life, and I would wish to unplug that from me and put that in other people if I could. And I'll thank my mother for not enforcing me to be cocky or anything, but to let me learn how to feel good about my own self.
All right. Thank you, Sid Talk.
Nice. Thank you.
ascully.com. That's the place you can go to get this podcast. Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky. Those are the social media networks we're on. I'm A. Scully, she's Sid Talk. You can catch the podcast itself on ascully.com, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Email feedback to me, ascully@ascully.com. Do not email Sid Talk. She doesn't want your email. And finally, stay classy, Mr. Nicolas Cage. You are amazing.
I'm going to say, think for yourself, because if you're not doing it, someone's doing it for you.